This represents mycorrhizal fungi. So what happens is the mycorrhizal fungi, using those biotic glues, attaches itself. It literally glues itself to the plant roots. And then it greatly extends the reach of those plant roots. Anywhere from several hundred to more than 1,000 times. The mycorrhizal fungi will extend the reach of that plant root and allow this plant to be able to access nutrients, minerals, and water that its own roots cannot reach. So that's one of the critical functions of mycorrhizal fungi. But mycorrhizal fungi are microscopic. They're very small thread-like or filamentous organisms that again attach to the plant roots, and they can even penetrate like a needle. They can penetrate into that plant root to strategically and surgically place water molecules, place nutrients, and those types of things. But in the absence of mycorrhizal fungi, these plants are going to suffer. And the only way that they can get the nutrients that they need to produce any kind of decent crop is through what? What has to happen then? We have to apply external fertilizers like synthetic nitrogen and phosphorus. And remember last night we talked about the dangers and the issues, the drawbacks of applying those. Now another thing that this mycorrhizal fungi does though is that each of these different types of plants produces a different array of what we call medicinal compounds, secondary and tertiary compounds. And the mycorrhizal fungi also acts as a transfer system. So if this plant is producing something that's favorable to protect this plant and this plant from pest and disease, the only way that that medicinal compound can be transferred from this one to this one to this one is through this interconnecting mycorrhizal fungi. So they form a large interconnecting mat up underneath the soil that connects all these plants together. Now, to show you what happens in the soil when we implement good practices versus bad practices, this is Happy Harry, okay? And Happy Harry is a no-till drill. We'll show you the impact of that drill on the soil. So what Happy Harry does is just has a very, very light impact on the soil, just like this, okay? Implanting the new seed for the new crops, whether it's cover crops or a row crop, corn, soybeans, wheat, whatever. And you can see that in this pan, okay, representing a field, I've got mycorrhizal fungi up underneath the soil. We have earthworms, and we have our new baby earthworms, okay, in their cocoon. They were all protected. Nothing was harmed in using that no-till drill. So all of those microorganisms and macroorganisms that are there to build that soil for us and to perform vital functions were undisturbed and kept fully intact. But if we use full tillage, and this is terrible tilly, okay, the evil tillage machine, right? And so if we take terrible tilly and we go through the soil like many farmers do, and we're completely tilling up the soil, then what happens there is all of these cocoons of baby earthworms, they go by. All of these good earthworms working in there, they go by. And all of these mycorrhizal fungi, they go away as well. And we lose all of that. So we lose that very favorable impact, and what we're left with is now that beat up, degraded soil.